Bonjour YouTube, my name's Ollie, this is the Naturally Aspirated YouTube channel. This is Tom, aka Bateman, and you'll have seen him a lot on our channel in the past. And today, Thomas is showing his lovely new Giulia Quadrifoglio. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. So just whilst we are driving out through the Kent countryside, it's probably worth pointing out that I think a lot of the time Alfa Romeos, they're beautiful, they're passionate cars, they're often misunderstood. We've had quite a bit of history with Alfa Romeos on the channel. So I had my 147 GTA. Ed had an Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, similar to this one. Rest in peace, it got stolen. And Tomo currently has an Alfa 4C, and there'll be more stuff to come on that soon. Each car has had its own foibles, merits, joys. Obviously the 147 spent more time in the garage than out of it, but those one day of the year that I could take it out, it was fantastic. Tomo is very happy with his 4C. Again, has its own subtle nuances, but he loves it. And Ed honestly didn't really get to experience his quad that much before it got half-inched in the middle of the night. So that brings us nicely to Tom and his new quad. Obviously we've been poking you for a while to get a new car, haven't we?
I think that, to say the least.
And,
yeah.
I think we've probably gone through every different car possible just to try and get you to change car. Now,
yeah, I think most boys our age, Auto Trader
is used heavily every single day. Yeah,
most used app, I think, in our group.
You had a very nice C63. How long did you have the C63 for?
I had it for 4 years, pretty much.
Yeah, and there is a video, I'll put a link to it, of where we explored what that car was like. It was a brilliant car, but it was time to change, wasn't it?
I thought so, yeah. Great car, really enjoyed it, but wanted something new.
Well, that could happen every 6 minutes in our group, but yes, it was time to change. So, what made you settle on a Giulia Quad?
For me, I still wanted a bit of the practicality, which I think these kind of performance coupes, saloons can offer. I think they're great value for money. Keep a lot of the practicalities whilst also being something that you can take to a track, take on a nice long driving tour and have a lot of fun with.
Yeah. We did try to get you into a 911 and a Cayman, didn't we? We did look at those things.
Yeah, the 911's clearly on the agenda and will be coming at some point in the future. But yeah, maybe save a few more pennies and when the priorities change a little bit. But for the moment, we put a little bit of money into this. It's given me a little bit more comfort. The Merc had 20-inch alloys all the way around. I think that impacted the ride quality a little bit. Yeah,
the side wall of the tyre was about that thick, and then the distance between the wheel and the side of the car was, again, similar. It probably had about 4 or 5 minutes of movement in that car.
To be fair, it was beautifully set up.
Yes, it was, yeah. It looked great.
And you really noticed that on the track. Bigger brakes, bigger wheels. But for a daily, this is much more comfortable, which is enjoyable for me. The driving experience of taking this, even just on the little bit that we've done so far, has been really, really exciting.
Yes.
And looking forward to doing a little bit more of that. We've got a track there, Goodwood, coming up. So that'll be the first time to really take it out and experience a little bit more of the car.
Nice, as we just blast past the MX-5. So did you have any initial doubts around, I know what that is, by the way, don't worry about that. So this is, by the way, this is Prime Alpha. This is prime time Alpha, so just had a little warning come up, and I know it's for the front splitter. It's just got a little bit stuck, so probably got some dirt in it. Okay. Ed had it come up every 10 minutes, so it might work at one point, might work at another point. you're good. What was it specifically about an Alfa? Because you could have chose an M4, you could have chosen an RS5, you've obviously had a C63, there's other cars similar-ish as well. What made you choose this?
Yeah, and it was tight. I was close actually to putting the trigger on M4. I think the fact that these are a little bit more unique. You go on Auto Trader, you see there's 10 Alfas knocking about, there's 250 M4s knocking about going by. So it took me a little bit longer to find this one.
Get in the comments below, by the way, if there's anything that would turn you off buying a Giulia Quad over, say, an M4 or an RS5, because you did look at RS5s as well. Yeah,
briefly.
I think that's a different kind of car again. I think it's probably a bit more relaxed than the C63 it was, maybe.
Yeah, I think what the attraction of that is the four-wheel drive, really.
Yeah.
A little bit quicker off the line, probably even easier to drive actually.
Yeah.
But I did want a rear-wheel drive car, to be honest.
You've always had rear-wheel drives, haven't you?
Yeah, my last 4 cars have all been rear-wheel drive. So the MX-5, the BMW Z4, the C63, and this. Yeah.
You're a man that likes to drive his car with a wiggly bum.
He does indeed. Yeah. Sometimes it catches me out.
Oh dear.
But,
yeah. Well, that's one thing to know as well. Obviously, in race mode, it turns everything off.
It does. You get a little bit less functionality from that perspective.
Yeah.
But this has had the exhaust flap remote.
The mod,
yeah, which is a mod you can get for it. It's about 300-400 quid. I think it was done by AHM, which are a decent Alfa garage in the southwest of London, actually.
You were very diligent in your search as well.
I was quite disciplined, I'd say.
Yes,
I wanted something a little bit lower mileage, something that's been really looked after. I was lucky to find it on piston heads actually. Mike and Kim that owned the car before looked after it really, really well. So very thankful for them looking after it so well.
Yeah.
I still wanted a bit of grit, a bit of performance.
Yeah.
And 506 brake horsepower. It's a little bit quicker than the Merc actually.
It is a rocket ship. Yeah.
It is a rocket ship. I mean, that ultimately is what I'm looking for a little bit.
Yeah.
I want it to be fun. I want it to be exciting. I want to be able to drive it in anger a little bit, whilst having the practicality.
No, exactly. So you can fit your golf clubs in the boot.
Done, tested.
You've done, tick that box.
Yeah.
You've put it in race mode and experienced a little bit of that. You've got a track day coming up, so you're going to make the most of the car, aren't you? That's for sure.
Yeah.
Was there any hesitations why not an Alfa?
I mean, it was the servicing costs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they bad on this?
I don't think so. And I did do a fair bit of research, but that is always the risk.
Yeah.
And I feel like I did have that in the back of my mind, and I think I've been reassured by it from what I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are. You know, I'm conscious that's a small risk I think I might be taking buying an Alfa, but I think it's more when you're buying a performance car. You know, things do come up, and you know, you probably have to change the tyres a little bit more often. Maybe there's a little bit more servicing on the brakes, and they cost a little bit more when you need to do that. But
it's a performance car, and it's an Italian performance car, so it has an Italian performance car.
Exactly.
Costings a bit more, but get in the comments below if you're experienced in this with the Giulia Quads, and there's a few guys in our watchers. Let Tom know the best places to go around southeast England, and also if there's any mods or anything you guys recommend, let him know as well. Get in the comments.
Yeah, I think maybe just the other things that worth. Insurance is pretty much the same as the work, so for me it's costing me probably just a little under £2,000, something like that. Tax is 375, similar for all of these types of cars. Petrol should be a little bit better.
You've got
the others.
2 less cylinders and
slightly smaller tank as well. So my feeling is that I end up in the petrol station as often, but it's not going to cost me as much to fill it up.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Was there any bit of you that saw us driving Alfas? Obviously you saw my 147.
Yes, experienced it.
Yeah.
Delightful, exciting.
Exactly. Obviously, you never got to see Ed's
No, I never
Giulia
around,
in the flesh, did you? But obviously you saw the videos.
I watched the videos.
Yeah.
I really like the blue. I must admit, I did end up going for the red, and I did want the red, but I thought his blue looked fantastic.
It's very rare in the blue as well, to be fair.
Yeah, his, and Tomo spoke to me quite a bit about it as well. The speed of it, the excitement, the driving experience. They were big selling points for me.
Yes, yeah. And obviously Tomo's got his 4C as well, which is a very, very different Alfa Romeo, but I think having that badge is a big plus point. Well, obviously, I think the main selling point for this car is the engine, and it's not a Ferrari V6. It is. We discussed this in the previous video. If you want to check out sort of an in-depth review on a Giulia Quad, which was Ed's one, check out the link above. We're going into great details, but I do think that's a big selling point, is the fact that it's not a Ferrari V6. It is. It sounds like one, it goes like one, and I think the engine makes this car. I think it's part of the, I think it's just part of the character. And like, obviously you can get Giulias with 2 litre 4 cylinders and all that sort of stuff, but I think with this engine, they made this. Oh, there's a car broken down right in the middle of the road. It's an interesting place to stop. Yeah, normal service will be resumed shortly. Obviously you've got the triple layer red paint as well, which is incredible, which harks even more to Ferrari. But it is, I personally think this is just a Ferrari saloon car, if I'm being honest. I do. It has the feel of it, it has the Italian quirks, all that sort of stuff, and it's incredibly quick.
For me, I'm comparing the Merc and this quite a lot.
Yeah. Which is fair enough.
It doesn't give you the same boot in the back that Mercedes had, but it feels a lot lighter. The steering's really direct on it.
Yep.
Which is nice. The ride is more comfortable as well, even like pulled up in race mode. You know, it's stiff and it's sharp. It's just a real joy to drive. The
dynamics of the car are probably a bit more sporty and racy than potentially the C63 was.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Even the seats. This doesn't have the.
It's not got the beautiful carbon fibre seats, but you don't really need them.
Even these, they really, like, you feel very fitted in them. They kind of grab you from on the legs, on the thighs, and in here as well. We've
gone through in great detail Tom's thoughts. Obviously, I'm a big Alfa fan. I try and persuade all my friends to buy Alfas. Mark, you're next on the list. I reckon we can get him in one eventually. So, yeah, big Alfa fan. For me, it's all about the emotion, the sounds, the looks of the car, everything like that. Tom is at the start of his Italian journey. We've already had a little foible start, but when we turn the car off and turn it back on, that will disappear. Make sure you get in the comments, guys. Let us know what you think to the car. Anything you think we've missed. Anything to tell Tom what he should or shouldn't be doing with the Alfa. So we are back where we started. Been out for a drive. We've listened to Tom's thoughts as he was driving it. But I think now is a good time to get the final thoughts. So from an emotional standpoint, Thomas, how does this compare to the C63? What's the difference between this for you, and why are you happy with it?
The one thing that really stands out is clearly the driving experience. Like, particularly when you chuck it in race mode, you get above those kind of 4,000 RPMs. Yeah. Like, it really sings, it purrs along the road. And it's just a thoroughly enjoyable car to drive.
Yes.
Yeah, the inside's probably not as neat as the Merc, but I can't wait to get it on a track. Be really, really exciting.
So it'd be great to get your thoughts and feedbacks in the comments below, guys. Obviously, this is now the second quad we've had on the channel. RIP Eds, but this is the new Red Devil. You like that, didn't you?
Yeah,
that was new. I hadn't said that before. Sorry, we're just waiting for some. Definitely been dogging, haven't they?
100%.
Definitely been dogging. Bateman's just mentioned actually, it's the 4th Alfa on the channel. We know there's a big Alfa contingent of people who watch the channel, so make sure to get in the comments, give your thoughts on this one. Stay tuned for more videos, guys. There'll be more coming. He wants to do a lot with the car.
Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.